Austin Theory breaks silence on getting slapped by Vince McMahon. The Rock reveals that he's a huge fan of a former NXT Women's Champion, and Becky Lynch celebrates 500 days as champion in WWE. What's up, everyone? I'm Jose G, and there's a lot to talk about in today's Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE News Roundup. Never miss brand new content by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Austin Theory breaks silence on getting slapped by Vince McMahon. Austin Theory has spoken about his segment with Vince McMahon from this week's Raw. The 24-year-old star recently highlighted the larger-than-life feeling of getting to work with Vince McMahon on television. The latest Raw episode saw the WWE CEO seemingly take Theory under his wing, with him teaching the young athlete to always expect the unexpected. Their series of segments ended with Vince McMahon surprisingly slapping Austin Theory across the face and then saying that the latter had a lot to learn. Speaking on the latest episode of After the Bell with Corey Graves, Theory likened the WWE boss to a wrestling god. The young star then revealed that he had watched the video of him getting slapped by Vince McMahon many times since it happened, saying, quote, "I've probably watched a video of me getting slapped like 100 times. I would just say, just don't upset Vince McMahon because, yo, he's got some hands," end quote. The WWE CEO rarely makes on-screen appearances these days, which is why many believe he sees something special in Theory to have multiple segments with him. In addition to their latest back and forth, McMahon booked him for a WWE Championship match against Big E last week. Though the up-and-coming star came short from that encounter, getting a world title match at this stage speaks volumes about his potential on Monday Night Raw. Nia Jax shows off her new look with a gray hair wig. Jax is no longer a WWE superstar, and it seems like the former Raw Women's Champion is done with wrestling for good. She recently changed her hairstyle from curly to straight mere days after her WWE release. Now Nia Jax is trying an interesting look with a gray-haired wig. She posted a short clip on her Instagram story section showing off her new look. She also shared a hilarious TikTok clip with former WWE superstar Mojo Rawley. At the end of the video, fans can see Rawley pulling Nia's wig from her head and walking away. The WWE release came as a surprise to Jax, as she had requested the company to extend her mental health break. Not only wasn't the extension not granted, but Jax was also released from her contract. In one of her latest tweets, Nia Jax let her fans know that she will be talking about her WWE run in an interview with Renee Paquette. Nia Jax had been a regular act on WWE TV for almost 7 years. Her biggest achievement was winning the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 34. While fans are quite upset that she might not wrestle again, judging by Nia's latest Instagram post, it looks like she is having the time of her life post-release. The Rock reveals that he's a huge fan of a former NXT Women's Champion. It seems like The Rock is a big admirer of WWE SmackDown's Shayna Baszler. Despite not being an active part of pro wrestling, The Rock always makes a point to tweet out his support for the business and the stars working in different promotions. It appears that the Great One makes it a point never to forget where he came from. During a debate on social media over who the best wrestler is, The Rock chimed in, voicing support for the Queen of Spades. The praise from The Rock got around as Shayna Baszler saw the tweet and responded to him on social media earlier this week. She said that the Great One has good taste when it comes to recognizing talent, and he is okay in her book. The Rock and Shayna Baszler have appeared in WWE programming together back at WrestleMania 31 in 2015, before the Queen of Spades started working for the company. She appeared ringside with Ronda Rousey, who took part in a segment with The Rock against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. That same year, the Great One appeared on the big screen alongside Ronda Rousey in Fast and Furious 7. Bayley hints at Four Horsewomen versus WWE Hall of Famers match. Bayley is currently away from the WWE ring, recovering from an injury, but that isn't stopping the former SmackDown Women's Champion from sinking her teeth into a new rivalry. WWE Hall of Famers Trish Stratus and Lita were both guests on the Bellas podcast hosted by fellow Hall of Fame stars, the Bella Twins. A clip of the women discussing dream matches has been circulating online, with Lita pitching one of her own. The former WWE Women's Champion said, quote, "If we could be the Bellas and the Besties versus like, say, Bayley and Sasha and Becky and Charlotte, something like that," end quote. Bayley then responded to the clip on Twitter, rising to the challenge. The multi-time champion replied, quote, "If those other three ever get their ish together, then you four are seriously once and for all done for," end quote. Bayley is currently out of action dealing with a torn ACL that she suffered while training at the Performance Center back in July. Fans have been anticipating a big match featuring WWE's Four Horsewomen for quite some time now, and this could be a great way to bring the group back together. Becky Lynch celebrates 500 days as champion in WWE. Becky Lynch made her return to WWE earlier this year at SummerSlam after being away for just over a year to welcome her first child with Seth Rollins. Since her return, Becky Lynch has been a champion in WWE. Firstly, the SmackDown Women's Champion, until she traded it for the Raw Women's Championship with Charlotte Flair. Since WrestleMania 35, Becky Lynch has held a title on every day that she has been active in WWE. In total, the man has been champion for 500 days, and Lynch marked the special occasion on Twitter. Becky Lynch has defended her titles against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks since her return to WWE. Before her departure, she successfully defended her title over rivals like Lacey Evans, Natalya, Asuka, and Shayna Baszler. Liv Morgan became the next contender for the Raw Women's Championship after winning a grueling fatal 5-way match. The match between Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan will take place on December 6th episode of Monday Night Raw. Some fans have noticed that this will be exactly 17 years since Trish Stratus and Lita's historic match on the main event of Raw in 2004. Thanks for watching today's Sportskeeda Wrestling WWE News Roundup. For more news stories and exclusive content that you never want to miss, you gotta subscribe to our YouTube channel. Smash that notification bell so that way you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. Download the Sportskeeda app for the most up-to-date stories in the world of wrestling.